In this video, I want to show you how to do some quick formatting in GIS, and I also want to show you how you can export some of your maps and legends out as pictures that you can then insert into a publisher document. I think it's the easiest way to go about integrating the things you create in GIS into a document. So let's say you have a shapefile here, and again, I've got Denver census tracts for the Denver urban area, and I have interstates clipped here. So one of the things you might want to do is, let's say you want to look at race ethnic composition in Denver. And so I'm going to go ahead and click symbology, quantities, and some of the data we've got added. Let's say I want to look at percent Latino. So one of the options I have is in the numerator, in the value field, I can select Latino, and then in the normalization or denominator field, put pop tote, and that'll give me a ratio there. Go ahead and hit OK. There's your map, and there's a crude legend that can certainly be cleaned up. Let's say you want to do multiple ones. So one of the things you can do is right-click, copy, go up to layers, right-click, paste layer, and you can just keep pasting layers as much as you want. Now you don't want to confuse yourself if you put too many up, but I want to go ahead and do a few more. So I'm going to uncheck Latino over pop tote. I'm going to go to the second one, and instead of Latino over pop tote, I'm actually going to select P black NH. That's a percentage variable that's already calculated. So I don't actually need a denominator. So I'm going to select that one back to none and hit OK. Okay. And in this final one, I will do MHI, which is median household income. I do not need a denominator for that. Select none and hit OK. Okay, so you're getting there. You've got different maps. Again, uncheck the percent Black non-Hispanic. There's the map for median household income and so on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start at the top. Now, one of the things you might want to do before you prepare to export elements out as pictures is to rename your files over here. So instead of int clip for the interstate clip, I'm going to do 2 slow clicks, 1, 2, and then I can rename that something more intuitive like interstate. Now the Den Bake shapefile, this first one is Latino over pop tote. So I'm going to do 2 slow clicks and rename that percent Latino. Okay. This one is percent Black non-Hispanic, so I'm going to do 2 slow clicks, percent Black. Okay. And this is median household income, so over Den Bake, 2 slow clicks, MHI. Now the other thing you want to notice, if I open this up a little bit more, is that the legends are not very clean right now. So one of the things you want to do is turn these numbers into a nice clean percentage number. So for percent Latino, just double click, oops, and go to the symbology, quantities, graduated colors, and so on. Go to label and format those labels. Now right now it's on numeric. You want to put it on percentage, and then you have to check, does the number already represent a percentage? It does not. The number represents a fraction, so you want to adjust it to show as a percentage. And then the last thing you want to do is click on numeric options and set number of decimal places to 1. Okay? And then you get nice labels. Now if I do that same thing for percent Black, double click, go to label. Notice these are already percent because P Black NH was already pre-calculated. So I'm going to do label, format label, percentage. The number already represents a percentage. I'm still going to go to numeric options and set it to 1 decimal place. Okay. And median household income, this is just a dollar amount. So numeric is fine. I don't want 6 decimal places. In fact, when you're dealing with numbers that large, you probably don't want any decimal places at all. Okay. And hit OK. So we're getting there. I'm going to go ahead and show you how we can get these maps out into pictures that we can insert into Publisher. So you want to go to View, Layout View. Alternatively, you can just select this little icon down here in the bottom left where it says Layout View. Okay. And this shows us the map, And right now, I'd be very careful. I want to always recommend that you uncheck anything that you don't want to look at. You want to do these one at a time, most likely. And so I've got % Latino checked along with interstate, and I've got the map up. So one of the things I want to do as soon as I get that, and I would encourage you to zoom in to the largest extent possible, I want you to go ahead and go to File and Export Map. Okay? And you can save this. I'm just going to go ahead and save it. Where I've been saving some GIS data. Go ahead and create a folder for it. I'm going to call this Latino_map. And you'll have options about save as type. I actually recommend TIFF files. They're the largest, but they're also the most refined. You could also do JPEGs and so on, but those get kind of fuzzy. So do a TIFF file and go ahead and hit save. Okay. Now what you want to do is actually move your map out of the way. So you want to grab the black cursor and then just move the map off the template there. And now you want to go to Insert, Legend. And notice that it's already reading the two things I have checked. So if you had multiple things checked, you'd have multiple things going on. So it's better just to have the things you want. And go ahead and hit Next. The second page here, you probably don't need the legend to have a legend title. Most people can figure out. And just keep going through and getting to this point. Okay, and you can increase the size of this. So this legend is looking pretty good, but you also have this second row here with Latino divided by pop tote, and you don't really need that, obviously. So I'm going to go back over to the left here in the layer window and just do 2 slow clicks on that element, highlight it, and hit backspace and return, and it disappears. Okay? Now you're actually prepared to export this legend as a map. Now you do have options. If you want to right click and select properties, you could do a frame over it and do a border, something like this. Notice that doesn't leave much of a gap, so I'm going to go back to properties. And the gap here, I'm going to put that to 5 on the X and Y. Move that over. Hit OK. There you get a little bit more of a gap. You can keep increasing it. I'm actually not going to do a border, so I'm just going to set that back to none and hit OK. So I've got the legend for the map. I've already exported the map. Now I'm going to export this legend. Again, it's just File, Export Map. I know you're not exporting a map, you're exporting the legend, but we're going to call this Latino_leg for legend. Save it to the same spot, hit save. Okay? So you've got that variable done. I'm going to move the legend off. I'm going to pull the map back on. And now I'm going to uncheck % Latino and then go to % Black. Okay. Now I want to export that map. File, Export Map. I'm going to call this one Black_map. Save as. And I'm going to move it off. Notice I don't really have a legend anymore that includes the % Black color ramp. So I'm going to go to Properties and go to General. And I need to change the legend item. So I'm going to remove % Latino, arrow it back to the left, and move % Black over. Go ahead and hit OK. Everything's looking good. I want to get rid of this excess stuff, so I'm going to go back over here, 2 slow clicks, backspace, and return. Things are looking good. So now I can File, Export Map. And this one will be Black leg and save that. Okay, so that's the easiest way, I think, in order to export the elements that you create after you've got them formatted. Now I want to show you actually how you can bring those elements into a publisher document. So you pull up Publisher, and I already previously just pasted some random text I got off of an internet article. So imagine you have text that you've already pasted in here. You can go to Insert, Pictures, and then you can go looking for your pictures. So we'll go to, there's the folder for pictures. And let's start with the % Latino map. Insert. Okay. Now one of the things you can do is actually crop around your picture. So usually what I'll do is I'll grab the crop icon there, activate it, and then pull in the boundaries of my picture right around the map. Like that. Hit crop and it's done. Now notice the nice thing about Publisher is that the text will wrap around the picture. One of the things you can do once you have the picture in there, and you can again move it around wherever you want. So let's say you want it right up here in the top left. You can right click on that picture and format the picture. And in the Layout tab, you can adjust the distance from the text that the text wraps around. So if you want to increase these just a bit, I'm just going to put them up one notch. Hit OK. You'll see that you get a little more space around your picture, so you can adjust that. Okay. One of the things you can do, let's say you want a large-scale picture, but you also want to zoom in on a particular area of the map. So I'm just going to actually go and insert another picture, same map, P Latino, but this time the crop, I'm going to pull in even closer around the area I want to focus on. So right around downtown. Oops. You have to be careful when you grab the edges. Hit crop again, and then I've got a zoom in that I can look at. So one of the things you might want to do is have a broader picture like that, but then you'll be able to have a zoom in that focuses in on a particular area. And then the same thing, if you want to insert the legend, obviously, you'll just insert the appropriate legend. Again, crop around it closely. Oops. Hit crop again, and then you can squeeze that down to a appropriate size. Something like that. So then you can move things around. Okay, so that's how you can insert pictures and legends. It gives you a lot of control. The other thing you can obviously do is go to insert and do a text box and insert titles. And so this might be map 1% Latino. So you can do the titles in Publisher rather than in GIS itself. So that's how you do some basic formatting and get it out there into Publisher where you can mess around with it.